refreshing. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Uncanceled Culture. I was told that I have to pronounce uncanceled better because it sounded like I was saying uncancer.
Uncanceled.
Uncancer culture.
Well, let me tell you something that the kids say to that. Big Liddy, if you want this fade, come and get it.
What is it? What?
That's just again, God. With the little head inside the big guy's head.
So there's no more Cash Me Outside?
Yeah, that's a little old Cash Me Outside.
Cash Me outside, how about that?
This is the new Cash Me Outside.
Played out.
So that's what that means?
Yeah.
Say it again.
It says, Big Liddy, if you want this fade, come and get it.
Do you guys say all that shit to get somebody to come outside? I mean, what the... Just say, come on, motherfucker.
I think it's just a chant.
Oh,
God.
Oh, my God. Well, let's start off with some comments. We do have some comments. We hadn't gone over them. In quite some time.
Yeah, we've actually had a few.
And I actually have a few. I have a couple from Spotify, too.
Yeah,
so after we go over these.
A few others, too. But we had one based off the last few episodes. This person chooses to remain anonymous. Said that they just had the opportunity to catch up and they wanted to share. But there is a kid at one of the schools that I work at whose name is Antonioson, which basically is San Antonio backwards. The story is the dad saw someone with a San Antonio tattoo and he really liked it, so he flipped the names for his son. So that was, in reference to our crazy names
Oh
segment there.
my!
And then they continue to say, as far as mental health, I'm so glad that you all had the courage to open up and discuss this on air. I know firsthand how hard it is to talk about, but I've been on both sides of the coin. I lost my cousin to suicide due to his mental health issues, and then I had to deal with my own depression due to his death. Fortunately, my husband was right beside me when I was going through this, and he helped me get the help I needed. It was due to him being in the military that they jumped in and I got the best care possible. I spoke with my doctor and got put on medication and then found a therapist to talk to. Now I'm an example in that once you start taking meds, you can also stop them once you're in a better place. And about a year after, I was off the antidepressants. Now I deal with anxiety and again, am on medication, but I deal with it daily and try to find ways to handle it. I was going to suggest that you try to make a segment about the advice, the dadisms, momisms that your parents gave you. And I think that's a good idea. I think we're going to do that pretty soon. Dadisms and momisms that we used to get, right? They go on to say, I believe that it's due to our age that now we appreciate our parents and maybe you will be willing to share their advice and stories and wisdoms with all of us. And then just so you know, you made my drive to and from this certain place more enjoyable, so thank you.
Wow, we have fans. Wow.
I have a comment about that, but it's going to be when we get to our big segment.
Okay. Well, we thank you, person, for that comment. And then, like I said, it's good. It's cool. We don't get a lot of comments, but the comments we get, we appreciate them. So that means you are listening. Wow.
Yes.
So there's another comment that I had, and it was on the episode of where I had my mysterious question that y'all questioned me about women naming their parts.
Private.
So this person, I don't know who it is, so I'm not going to say their name, but they left this comment and says, basically the question was, do women name their vaginas, right? And then y'all jumped all over me and like, what do you think about that question? Anyway. So it says, yes, we name it, and yes, men do it too. It's not rare at all. So, according to this person, everybody names their Johnsons.
Huh.
Mine's Black Stallion. Sebastian Clydesdale. That's the name. That's the other name. That's
the other name?
That's the other buddy. His other buddy's name.
Yeah.
Man, do we have any more? Was that it?
No, I think that's it for now. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we wanted to open up on this. Call it major, maybe not, but you can't hide the fact that women's college basketball has grown by leaps and bounds, right? But not as much as these past 2 years. And because of these past 2 years, Iowa's women's team faced off against LSU's basketball team. And, of course, that was Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese. And last year they played in the final, and LSU got the best of them, right? Mm-hmm. So basically starting from that point, because we were talking about it for a long time. We really were. So from that point on, Angel Ruiz, I'm saying Ruiz. Angel Reese got a lot of flack because of all the stuff that she was doing. She was doing the... what's his name? The wrestler, the John Cena thing. They can't see me, and and Clark was doing it as well. So let's not let's not forget about that. So they were both talking trash to each other, right? And of course, Angel Reese was maybe doing a little bit more. So from that point on, I can honestly say that I just didn't really appreciate her. I mean, I know, I guess she's a good basketball player, but from that point on, for me, it was just like, I could, if she's got a big target on her back, right?
Yeah, but you put the target on your back.
Exactly.
If you draw the bullseye, I think one of the, I forgot who it was. Was it Acho that said it?
Acho, yeah.
If you put the bullseye on your back, then don't be surprised when people shoot at it.
Exactly.
Don't be surprised.
Those are his exact words. And the whole off season, right? Everything came. So then the season started up again. She had some problems.
Well, okay. Well, let's go back to the whole situation in last year's final.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So Angel Reese,
right?
They win.
They win the national championship.
While they're at the line, because the seconds are already they're doing free throws. The time's about to expire, and she does the "you can't see me" gesture to Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, starts tapping the ring, like I got my ring, right? Okay. She explains why she did the "you can't see me" gesture. But she gives two different explanations. Because the first one, she says it was because Caitlin Clark disrespected the girl from, was it South Carolina?
Louisville.
Okay, but
Was it
No,
Louisville?
but that's what she was saying, right? So she said she was basically, that's my girl, and you disrespected her, so you're not gonna disrespect her and not expect to have something come back at you, right?
Right.
Basically, that was the first thing she said. But then she comes out and says, it's for girls that look like me that's gonna speak up for what they believe in, and that's why I did it, because it's unapologetically you. And she likes to use that word, unapologetically,
there
right?
you go. And everybody else was using it for her, too.
Everybody else was using it for her. You be you. You do you. You be the person you have to be. This is what they were saying, right?
Right.
And she says, I'm doing it for people that look like me. This is where I have the problem. Everybody that has stuck up for Angel Reese didn't stick up for her in regards to, because she had a great game. I think it was 17 and 20, right? She had a great game. She just didn't have the game that Caitlin Clark had.
Right.
Caitlin Clark had what, 41 and 10?
it's a similar game, but different stats.
Right.
I mean, if LSU would have won, it's still a good game.
Well,
Right.
and people
Yeah,
said,
put
if
down
you
41.
take away Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese was the best player on the court, and they probably win because they have a better team. The thing is that Caitlin Clark carried her team to victory.
She did.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, hitting the threes when she needed to. She was, dishing dimes like she needed to. Everything that she needed to do. And I'll tell you right now, she didn't play a perfect game because she forced a lot of balls inside. She did a lot of mistakes.
She does make a lot of mistakes.
She made a lot of mistakes.
She does.
But everybody that defended Angel Reese made it. And this was going to be my quick shot, but I'm glad that we're talking about it right now.
Yeah, let's jump into it.
They made it a black and white thing. They made it
They did.
a gender thing. They made they were trying to defend her because she talked all this crap all season, last year to this season, leading up to this game, didn't deliver, and then was crying at the podium. And people were giving her crap about crying, right? But the people that defended her were like, well, you know.
Let's remember that she's a young woman.
Yeah, I'll say it. They were basically saying, well, she's a young black woman. And, and they started making it about color. And it was, the whole thing was never about color.
I don't think it ever was about
It
color.
never was. But there was people who made it, like Joy Taylor, like freaking Matt Barnes, like freaking, who was that other dude? Who was that other dude that was on the show with Acho that was also making it a freaking color thing?
LaShawn?
Oh yeah. Freaking, I can't stand that dude. You know, Sean McCoy. Again,
what do you call him? Shady?
Yeah,
they call him Shady.
Well, yeah, because he definitely is shady.
That's what he calls himself.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah,
That's
he's
what they call him.
He's
You always say he's shady, and I'm like, when did Eminem get on the fucking? I didn't.
He freaking is he made it a color thing, and he even made it. He even said comments like, "Oh, you know, this little white girl, if she was out there on the court, like, why did she have to be a white girl?
Right.
This girl, if she went to the court and she was running all over people, why did it have to be white or black? It didn't have to.
Right.
But everybody that's sticking up for her is making it a color issue.
And that's what Acho said when he made his comment. The very first thing he said, it's not a women comment. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's just a wide open comment because okay, the only thing that I see, guys do it, right? But my thing is that this woman, whatever you want to call her, she just kept flapping her fucking gums and just kept on and on and on and on and on. And she didn't know when to shut up. So, I was talking with you guys, and I said the biggest difference between this year was last year. Yeah, Caitlin Clark was talking shit last year. Yeah, she was. Let's admit it. She was. Mm-hmm. She was doing the whole, Cena thing. And
what I saw when she did it, I didn't see her directing it to anybody.
Well, there you go.
Okay,
that's one thing.
I was under the impression she did it because the girl had been running her mouth. And so what she did was in retaliation.
Right.
That was hey, well, you can't see me. You're not at my level. Basically, what she told her.
But she didn't go to her face and do it.
Exactly.
She just did it like walking to the bench. Like,
right.
You know.
Yeah. So, but she did do it. Right?
So she did do it.
So my thing was this year compared to last year, and this wasn't even the final. This was just to get to the Final Four. Last year was the final. So this was just to get to the Final Four. And Caitlin Clark just went out and she just balls to the wall. She just played. She didn't say nothing. I saw her complain to the referee maybe a couple times, but she just went out there and fucking played. And she didn't open her mouth. She didn't do nothing. She just said, she just shut her mouth and did it.
She went out and stood up for the national anthem.
She did. And that's another thing that we could probably bring up too.
And people were saying, I don't think they did it on purpose. Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah, because people were coming out and defending them about that too.
I don't see that coach being that way. Bullshit.
Yeah, no. But so she was, and Reese was flapping her gums to coaches, players, probably
telling
fans.
Them watch your mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
watch
you're telling the coach to watch your mouth? Like, really? Like, seriously? Okay. And then the word villain came up, and I think it was Acho. Was it Acho that brought that up as well? But or self-proclaimed.
Everybody has brought it up.
Right.
Like, yes.
So self-proclaimed, whatever you want to call it, the word villain came up. And I'm sorry, but I have to bring Louis into this because when we were playing softball, right? When we were playing softball, everybody, that's what I'm talking about. Everybody talked shit when we were playing softball. Talking shit, everybody, bam, 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 bam. Louis was talking shit. I mean, I didn't talk a lot of shit, but maybe every once in a while I did. But the thing was, and this is what I'm telling Louis, that I was telling Cranky too. We were talking about it. I said, Louis just fucking talked. He didn't care if we were losing. He didn't care if we were winning. We didn't care what the fucking score was. Louis was still fucking talking. But you know what? When we lost, he fucking took that loss on the chin.
Yep.
And then he kept fucking talking, right?
Yep.
And that I'm not saying it
next time.
I'm not saying it as a bad thing. Is that my thing? Is that if you're gonna be that person, be that person. Mm-hmm. Keep talking your shit. Don't talk, and then you lose. Then you're gonna go in a corner and you start crying about it.
And then people make excuses for her doing that,
which they have. Then that's all they've been doing.
I mean, to me, I was like, okay, like the way Acho said it, right? Hey, man, you're gonna be grown. You're gonna talk grown. You're gonna act grown. You're gonna speak to people like this. Then be that same person when you lose. Right? Be the same person. Keep talking your crap. Keep saying, hey, man, you can even give them props and be like, hey, We both came out here. We both play hard. They got the win. Hey, good luck to them. Hope they win it. Whatever. Or hope they lose. Who cares? Talk your shit, right? Say what you got to say. But no, she started crying, and people made excuses, and they were like, well, you know, it's probably because it was her last college game. Who cares? She hadn't made her decision yet.
Has she made it at that point?
No.
Because that's what I heard too.
No, she just made it today.
She just
So
made it
today, okay.
She
So
just
then
made it
at
today.
that point, she didn't, quote unquote, know that she was going to be her last
Yeah.
game,
You know.
right?
I don't know. I know you were going to say something.
Oh, I'm just saying, maybe was she crying because she just couldn't back up her talk? You know?
Hey, did it finally come to a realization that all this shit that I was talking and now I can't back it up?
And now I can't back it up, so now I need, you know, sympathy because I couldn't. You know?
Because she couldn't do you know.
The thing is, what she said when Louis said about, you know, her doing it because she was defending her girl or whatever. Hey, your girl can't stick up for herself.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, and if you did it for, I mean, you did it. Is it excessive? Is that the word?
Yeah,
Excessively.
yeah, excessively.
Like she kept doing it. She
Yep.
kept doing it. She kept doing it. You know, and then she didn't. Like you said, she didn't apologize for it. I mean, I bet you if she would have like, okay, I took it too far. I apologize. I think people would have been like, all right, cool.
Right. And
You
because and she was on top of the world at that point.
At that point.
Because they had won the national
I
championship,
know.
and she just kept us on and blah blah blah. I kept talking. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and she made it again. People they started making it a color thing. She started it with that with the people, the girls that look like me. Why? What, the girls that look like you because you got extensions or you have fake lashes? Like, what is it? What girls that look like you?
Right.
Oh, you know why?
Yeah.
Because she made it a color thing.
Yeah.
And the thing is that she kept talking, and Cranky's right. She kept talking. She didn't stop, but at the end, she made it on the podium. She made it like, well, I'm a victim because I've been, you know, I've had death threats. I haven't been happy since we won. I've been sexualized. Oh, because you decided to post your pictures of your, you know, on the internet.
Right.
But you know,
Yeah.
I've been this, I've been that. Well, yeah, but you've also been the villain, and you accepted the role. You took the role. I'm gonna tell you somebody. You know, Sabrina brought up one person. We were talking about the villain now, right? The villain nowadays in the NBA, Draymond Green.
Screw that
He
guy.
doesn't change. He doesn't change. And
Fuck that
as
guy.
much as I don't like him, he doesn't change who he is.
Oh no,
right?
he's just
he
still the same. Even after the little break that he
Yes.
got, he came back and he
And he's done the same
clotheslined
thing.
fucking Patty Mills.
Who was it back in the day? Dennis Rodman. He
Yeah.
never changed who he was.
Nah.
Even when he came here, and they
Yeah,
were like,
he's
"Oh,
the
well,
same.
he's gonna have to change." He didn't change.
No, I think when
Jack.
he came here and got that,
Worse?
He got worse here. He got worse. I think he got his persona here, and that's why we shipped him out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And because he wasn't like that in Detroit.
He was
It
just
wasn't until he got here till he like took on a different persona.
where
I
he
think
started
maybe
he on and off the
where
court.
off the
Yes.
court
Yes.
is where that stuff started, right? But in Detroit, probably it was more on the court stuff where he just did whatever he needed to. But
Yeah.
then when he came here, it was just like, dude, he was all over the place.
Yeah, he was a freak on and off the court.
Right. Freak is that's an understatement, sir. Understatement. But so like you were saying, okay, so the season ends, right? And here we are, we're going into the off season, and what's changed is that NIL thing, right? The name, image, likeness, to where college players can now get paid because they won that lawsuit, and now all of a sudden everybody's making money. She's making a shit ton of money right now. Caitlin Clark is making a shit ton of money, and she even got offered to play in the big three.
$5 million.
$5 million.
That's more money than she would have made in what, 2 seasons, 3 seasons,
seasons.
4
WNBA.
seasons
Yep.
of the WNBA.
Had a career.
Her,
That's exactly what's really
and she's
saying.
already making
Probably
that.
her career.
She's got something with what's that card? The Panini, not Panini. It's a card like Topps, Donruss.
Oh, it's a I don't know.
I forget, but it starts with a P.
Oh,
She's
that's
already
a
got.
good memory now.
She's already
Yeah,
getting money for that.
Dang.
She's got State Farm commercials. She's making money already, right? Okay, so let's flip it around. So Angel Reese is making money. Is she making the same amount of money? Who knows? I don't know who else she's I don't know who she's getting money from. But now here's the school year. The school year starts.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Angel Reese? Oh, I can't go to classes because now I'm too popular and everybody just wants to be
Yeah.
around me. I'm like, wait, what?
She was in trouble with the basketball team in the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
Because she
that
wasn't
too.
going to class.
She
Yep.
wasn't going to class. Who's that other girl? I forget her name, but the other girl on the team, Flage, her mom and Angel Reese's mom were going at it in the beginning, of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, they were having some Twitter. I don't know about Twitter or whatever.
Yeah, it was a
fuck,
Twitter fight.
Facebook, whatever. But they were having shit done. So and then her mom comes out and says, "Well, Angel needs to take a break because she's got all this stress and all this shit." Where did this stress come from?
She brought it upon herself.
Where did it come from? You now have this persona that you created, and now it's too much for you. Was it too much for Louis when he was talking shit the whole time? Did he come
it was every once in a while that we got into a fight, but I didn't stop. I didn't say I had to have a mental break or take time away from the team.
And again, I'm bringing up Louis, and not as because it's a bad thing. I'm trying to make the point of, that's how you're gonna be. That's how you're gonna be.
Paid.
And
He
he didn't get no NIL.
No.
He didn't get shit.
Maybe a 6-pack.
Exactly. Maybe a few shots here and there, but
If we were playing for first, we'll say fuck it. We'll take the
we'll take the beer. Yeah, keep your damn shirt.
Yeah, we don't need your damn stinking shirts. But that's my point. It's like now all of a sudden you're this persona and you're this big time person. You're making money, and now you can't go to school because you can't go to classes because you're too popular. And the whole season, like, I didn't hear. I heard more about Caitlin Clark than I did about Angel Reese.
Well, we heard about Angel Reese at the beginning of the season because of the issues she was dealing with, right?
Yeah.
But during the season, we heard about Caitlin Clark because she was breaking records.
She broke the record. Yeah.
And she was freaking, how many 30-point games did she have? And the most 40-point games in the tournament. We kept hearing about her because of of her game on the court. We weren't hearing about her off the court issues. It wasn't a Dennis Rodman, Draymond Green type of a thing. It was the on court play that we were hearing about Caitlin Clark, and how she was a role model, right? So there's some people that they decide they want to be the villain, and then there's some other people that decide that they want to be the hero, right?
I think there's some people that maybe learned from what happened in the past and decided, you know what, this is not for me. And now she's getting all. I mean, she's got Nike. I think Caitlin Clark has Nike too. I think there was a commercial that came out, talking about when she was young and she was playing with, first started, and she was playing with the AAU boys and all that stuff. So it was a Nike commercial. So she's got that. But I mean, it's just like my thing is like, you got that target. Like Louis said, like Acho said, that target's on your back. And it made me think in a separate way. It made me think of like when the Spurs would win championships the next year. What did everybody do? Everybody was gunning for their ass.
And that's
we had targets on our back for no reason, just because we won the championship.
And I
so
think
every game was a playoff game.
I think that's every and I mean, it should be every sport, right? It should be in every sport that, hey man, whoever won, like Kansas City, they've had a target on their back, right? The Chiefs for the past few years. you know. Hey man, your guys are coming up, bro. You guys are coming up, man.
Diggs, baby, Diggs.
Hey, they got Mixon too
from Cincinnati.
I'm telling you. But see, and why? Because Kansas City has a target on their back now. Everybody wants to beat them.
Everybody,
right?
That's
everybody's building up. So you put this target on your own back by all the shit you talk.
And what do you think Kansas City's gonna do? Like just by the way Kelsey acts, and just by the way even Mahomes acts, even maybe not as much, but they're still walking around like they're the big shits.
Yep.
They're the big dogs. Like, you got to come and
they're
take me down.
They're acting the way Gronk and Brady were acting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, come and get us. Well, what's that? What was the chant? Instead of
big
just,
lady. He
wants
instead
of
to
just
say,
saying,
come and get it.
Come outside.
Like, you bring up Kansas City, I'll bring up an example of.
I thought we were going somewhere with that one.
No. Oh yeah. Inside joke.
Inside joke.
Very inside joke.
When Tyreek was with Kansas City,
Mm-hmm.
there was a play where he does the peace sign when he's running because he's so fast, nobody's gonna catch him.
Right.
So he does the peace sign like peace. So he did it to a guy from the Buccaneers. Peace. I beat you. So when the Super Bowl came, the guy from the Buccaneers broke up the last play in the Super Bowl, which Tampa Bay won. He did the peace sign.
Peace sign.
He didn't have his buddy go do it for him. He didn't have somebody from the Dolphins be like, "Oh, well, I did it to him because my friend. He did it to my friend over there." They do it to each other.
Yep.
So this girl had no reason doing that to Caitlin Clark last year in the champ because they didn't do it to you.
Yeah.
But that's what made her the villain because she did it and then she kept on.
And
doing
she kept
it.
on.
And
doing it.
she was doing it like 2 feet away from her.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
come on.
Yeah.
Man.
Walking up to her.
Walking up to her.
Because wasn't she going to shoot free throws? Caitlin Clark was going to shoot free throws, I think.
No, she was. They were
No,
both.
Or
just
they were
lying.
just right there,
Yeah.
and she was just
doing
right
it.
next to her. Yeah.
Like once is enough. But you keep on. Okay, then that's what made everybody like. "Look, you didn't have to do that.
That's the villain.
You didn't have to. You did it to yourself.
Yeah.
And now this happens, and now she's all. Yeah, no.
But I'm going to be unapologetically me.
And what do you and so what do we think about this? So like your boy, this dumbass, what's his name?
Roger?
No.
Oh.
Well, him too, but
That's what popped into my
you
head.
said the TikTok you sent us earlier when he's backing up Reese.
No, Barnes.
Oh,
Barnes.
Barnes.
I couldn't think of his fucking.
Okay.
So what do you? So he's also talking about. No, this isn't. This is something. It's something where you got to separate it. Okay, it's a woman thing and it's a man. Like, how do you separate that? Right? Isn't that kind of what he was saying? He's like you have to separate it because or she's a woman or because she's a black woman or because but that was his thing, right? Because he was saying. It should guys do it all the time. How come nobody ever says anything about them?
Because they'll go crying in the podium afterwards.
After the game,
Crying
right?
that they're the villain.
Exactly.
They talk smack and they back it up most of the time. And if they don't, that's like you said, they keep talking
They
smack.
keep on. What do you think they're gonna do next year?
That's the difference, man. But they don't see the difference. They just want to put their point of view out there, and it don't make sense.
So, okay.
They don't think it through.
Hey, I was having this conversation earlier.
I didn't like that.
About the same thing. Matt Barnes could give 2 shits about Angel Reese. Okay, I'm telling you this
true.
right now.
That's true.
And so can Joy Taylor. So can Acho. Any of these people. The reason that they're talking about it is because it's the story right now, and they want to be relevant. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I don't have a problem with it because guess what? That's what we're doing right now, right? We're talking about the stuff that's
And we're
relevant.
not getting paid
And we're
for
not
it.
getting paid.
But we want to be
yet.
relevant.
But we want to be relevant. I don't have a problem with it. What I do have a problem is when they bring out these little videos like Matt Barnes. Like if he's really, really caring about how she's feeling. No, dude, you're putting this video out there so that people can go to your podcast and now you're gonna have more listeners.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna say what we have to say. Yeah, we want more listeners. Yeah, we want. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't give a crap about Angel Reese. I don't give a crap about Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
It was entertaining to watch. I loved it, and I loved that Angel Reese lost.
Yeah.
But
Me too.
I don't care about them.
Yeah.
I really don't. But we're going to talk about them because it's relevant and we want to be relevant.
Right.
We want to be able to have people understand and be able to, have that rapport with us because it's fairly new.
And the reason I wanted to bring it up, right, is because it's okay, it's sports. Yes. Okay, yes, it is sports. But when you think about it, we all got kids, right? I have right now. I got the youngest kid compared to you guys. I think, obviously, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
Well, besides your extended family, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But when your kid is growing up and when your kid is playing whatever sport they're playing, for me, if he opened his mouth and said even the slightest thing or one thing, you better believe that I'm going to tell him, hey, cut that shit out. Mm-hmm. Don't be doing that shit. Just play. Mm-hmm. That's my thing. I don't know how you guys feel about
Okay.
it.
That's
but
how
if
we
I
were-
had-
that's how we
That's
were-
how
that's
we were
what
brought
we
up.
were raised,
Exactly,
man. That's how we
exactly.
were
And
You
brought
do
that's-
up.
talking on the field.
And
You
that's
do your
what I'm
talking on the
saying.
court. You do your talking.
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying that the difference between this year and last year is that Caitlin Clark shut her mouth and just went out there and fucking played her ass off. And that's what got me thinking. It's like if I get if Boston is on the field and you know he watches YouTube or whatever the fuck he watches and he's playing, he's playing soccer, right? And he does something, maybe he makes a move on somebody and then he scores. If he goes over there and does some gesture or something to that person, you better believe I'll run onto the fucking field if I have to. But that's how
So-
they told us not to be.
Okay, well, so here, and I'm glad that you're saying
But
that,
you-
and that
you
you're like
see
that,
what I'm
right?
saying?
Yes.
Like-
Now, Sabrina, right? She has kids that are in different sports.
Yeah.
And one of them, he's pretty damn good as a freshman in tennis, and has already taken first in a couple tournaments, you know, doubles, whatever, and gets a little cocky at times.
Mm-hmm.
And she has to set him, you know, in place. And she's like, hey,
Bring him down.
cut that out.
Yep.
Because you're not gonna like it if it's done to you. And what she's done, the good thing that he might not change, which is fine. That's who you're gonna be. You be you, right? Be unapologetically you, whatever. But what I like is what she tells him. Is she says, but when you're on the other side, don't be a sore loser,
Right.
Because of the crap that you've been doing. Don't be surprised if somebody brings, like you said,
Throws
Caitlin
that
Clark and went balls to the wall.
Yep.
Right? Don't be surprised if somebody comes after you because you've already won a couple. They want one. They don't like the way. Maybe you weren't doing it to disrespect them. You were doing it out of like, hey man, I'm just, you know, I'm having fun. But to them, they might have taken it as disrespect. And when they do it back to you,
Right.
don't get hurt. Don't get butt hurt. Don't get offended because you brought it upon yourself.
Right.
And I like that because you're teaching them, hey, you
Take
want to
it
do
on.
that? That's fine. But be
Don't,
prepared.
Don't be a sore loser.
Be prepared.
Be prepared to lose. You're gonna lose.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You're
you're
not
not
gonna win
always
every
gonna win.
game. So if you're on a high streak and then all of a sudden because you know you flapped your gums a little bit and now somebody comes and they overpower, they you know they were better that day. Mm-hmm. Take it in the fucking chin.
Yep.
Take it in the chin.
So
And
how come nobody could tell Angel Reese that?
Well, and that's the
why
thing.
don't they?
But she has
Why
her.
don't
She
they?
has Flaugier there wiping her
Flaugier.
tears, and I was
know-
like,
I
"Get
know
the
this girl.
hell out of here,
I
man!"
know this girl, and I'm like, yeah.
Why didn't the girl from South Carolina come wipe her tears? She stuck up for her. That's what she was saying. She stuck up for her last year.
Yeah, exactly.
She should have came and wiped her tears.
Right? She
Don't
should have been
worry.
the first one on the sideline to give her a hug when she
Yes.
lost.
No, I got your back. I'll get redemption for that. She could have told her. You had my back last year. I got your back this year. You know.
Enablers. But I mean, yeah, I mean that's a good point because she doesn't have anyone there to tell her, I think you should shut up. I think you should.
Maybe we
just-
gotta send her the Dave Chappelle.
You should shut the fuck up.
Yeah, there's another option. You could just shut the fuck up.
But I mean, and what that's why I tried to tie this all together because you know that I guess I mean I didn't think about it immediately, but all this stuff that was going on and everybody was backing up Reese and all this stuff and she's flapping her gums and that made me think like I have a kid. I got a 7-year-old who's going to be 8 and I need to make sure that I'm telling him, look, you go out and you play your ass off, and if somebody tells you something, just keep playing. Like, don't even worry about it. Just keep going. Just keep playing. There's no need for you to be this back and forth because now what? Now you lose, and now he's got you.
Yep.
And now he's got you, and now he's gonna have you until you come back and do something else, and that's gonna drive you to want to do something else, and you're gonna be thinking about him. You're not gonna be trying to play the game, and so this whole thing for me tied back to that.
Yeah.
Because of this, it's like nobody told her that she needed to shut the hell up.
Yeah, and that's the way we make it relevant to home, is when we can use that as an example to show the kids this is the reason you don't flap
talk
your
shit.
mouth, you don't flap your gums. You go out there, you let your play do the talking.
Or in Louis' case, you say, "Do as I say, not as I do."
Hey, or in my case, keep talking even if you lose, but keep talking. Don't shut up.
Right. If you're gonna go that route, then keep going. Okay, fine. Keep going. Yeah. But don't just all of a sudden just.
I'll be like, hey man, if I put the bullseye on my back, guess what? When I lose, I'll put the bullseye on my front. Hey, I'll keep shooting, man, because I'm gonna keep talking. I am, and that's just who I am. But again, don't be hurt when you take the L.
Yeah.
Like you said, take it on the chin, move on. Hey man, you're about to get paid even more. Like,
Yeah.
be happy for that.
And that's even through all that. That's what I'm. And I think somebody mentioned it or I said it. I don't remember our conversations. I just know we
have a lot of them.
We have different conversations going on. But my thing was like, should this girl be that sad? She's already making millions. We know that. She's not.
Yeah,
she's
you
not
said
just
that.
making
She already
5,000.
She already won.
She's not just making 5,000. She's making millions. You know that.
Yeah, and Cranky said it.
She's not making $20 an hour.
Which brings us into our next segment in just a little bit.
Good segue.
But she should be happy. She
Or-
should be
or-
happy and shut her mouth and just go to the WNBA and play. Make
I mean,
her
and it's not even about
200,000.
being happy, because we know that money doesn't always make you happy, but at least be
It would make me
grateful
happy.
for what you've done. Yeah,
would
you're
make
right.
me
It does.
happy.
It makes me happy.
Or maybe
too.
that's why she's crying, because she's going into the WNBA.
And know she's gonna make less.
and she's gonna take a pay cut.
Or she could, or like Porky said, she can go into the big three and make $5 million. I mean,
There you go, man.
you know, you got options. You got options. When you got talent like that, you got options. Or she can continue to
And then,
sell her pictures. I mean,
again, yeah.
create an OnlyFans. I mean,
Okay.
you know.
Teachers, let me just say this one thing before we go into the next segment. Do you have any parting shots on that?
Nah.
No? Okay. So I read a story about this, again, in Florida. All this shit happens in Florida. The teacher started her OnlyFans in November of last year. They found out about it in January. So she begged and pleaded with them, please, no, I need my job, yeah, blah, blah, blah. She gets fired because she's got an OnlyFans, right? Well, from the moment she got fired, she ended up making six figures from that point on. And
So she's made more than-
So she's making more than she probably ever would have did in like 2 years, 3 years of her regular salary. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. So Angel Reese, there you go. If you don't have anywhere else to go. Oh!
I forgot.
Ow!
I brought Cranky his coffee, and I just gave Porky his
I like it.
his little keychain.
That's when Louis was out there making it rain. Making it rain.
But I didn't leave my kids alone for 10 days while I was out in Puerto Rico. So
Oh man! So talking about making it rain. So apparently the fast food workers in California are making it rain now that they're making $20 an hour.
well, some of them are,
But
some of them are.
so this just started this month, right?
This week.
This week,
This Monday.
So it was a month.
Monday, yeah.
The
On the first, yeah.
So California. Now this is restaurants that have more than 60 stores.
More than 60 stores, and they don't make their own bread. Is that what I read?
Really?
It was
Make their own bread.
Yeah.
Why would that set them apart?
No, I thought it was that they did make their. No, it wasn't that they made their own. I thought it was something like that.
So
Cranky's checking it out.
It was 21 for restaurants that have at least 60 locations. They have to have 60 locations nationwide, except those that make and sell their own bread.
Yes. So yeah, so then they don't. The ones that the 60, if they have 60 and they don't make their own bread, then they're the ones that are going
They're
up.
the ones that go up.
So they had a pay increase, which I think it was at $15.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
Yep.
And it went up to $20 an hour for minimum wage for these workers,
For fast food work.
for fast food workers. Yes.
So one of the stories that I sent you guys was these people, got up and showed up for work, and the doors were closed. Why? Because the owner decided to close down because he wasn't going to be able to afford.
He said
keeping
FTKs.
Yeah.
Fuck them kids.
Damn kids. It's D, right? Fuck them
Yeah,
kids. Anyway.
FDK.
But yeah, so they showed up to work and they didn't have a job because he closed the shop, he closed his business because
wasn't gonna
he
afford it.
already knew he wasn't going to be able to afford paying for them.
So let's say they have the 60 locations nationwide. Do they just close one to get under that 60 location.
Well,
Or do they just close their California locations? Because it was only in California, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was the one.
they were nationwide.
No, it was stores nationwide.
Oh, so it was stores nationwide.
So even if you had 60 plus, like in California only, I mean that's still considered nationwide.
Yeah, but let's say you have 4 in California and the rest are the rest of the nation. All of them are getting a pay increase.
No, just
Only
the
the ones in
ones in
California. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
what if you decide, well, let me just close my 4 locations in California, and I don't have to worry about those, but I'm still gonna have my other ones.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that guy, I think he owned other stores. He didn't just own that one.
Yeah.
other stores too.
He had like 3 different
it was like
companies.
3 or 4 different stores that
He did the
had.
Annie's.
The pretzel thing,
and then
and-
Cinnabon,
yeah, exactly,
and then he
yeah.
had some other one. Yeah.
But I mean, man,
Well, then you heard some people say, "Hey, well, we're gonna abide, right, and we're gonna go ahead and raise the minimum wage, but we're gonna have to now cut people
yeah.
Cut people and raise prices.
and
So
raise
now-
prices,
right,
and I think
and-
they're going up like 8%, right? 8% on their prices. Which, when you think about it, there were things that were being sold for $1.99 that are now being sold for $7.
Yeah, it was the pretzel they talked about.
the pretzels.
That
I mean, dude, they were
was
$1.99, then they were $3.99. Now they're gonna be $7-8.
Well, if you're going to buy a pretzel in the first place for $3, I mean, God,
I mean, you pay that much at ballparks.
yes.
It was shit.
Why are you eating
At
a pretzel in the
airports.
first? What? Who buys a pretzel, man?
People in California,
$3.
apparently. Or people who go to malls.
You know,
It's a hot
It's a
pretzel. I mean,
mall
I've done
thing.
it a couple times.
You buy-
I
you would-
don't have it all the time.
Cheese.
I don't even do the Cinnabon all the
maybe
time.
once, okay, a pretzel. But if he was making it seem like people go there all the time to buy pretzels, they gotta have their pretzel fix.
They got regulars.
Hey, Bob, same as yesterday. Okay.
No salt. All right. You want mustard? Okay, I got you.
Cheese this
Golly.
time? Okay, I got it. But I mean, that turns in that. Let's look at here in Texas. So let's turn Texas into California.
Where's the bots be?
Well, it's
might as
already.
well.
Cranky says it all the time.
That's why I said that. So let's turn Texas into California, right? So you have these kids now that they're making $20 an hour. Let's say they don't close. Maybe they're still open, right? Just happens, right? So does that mean that I'm going to get the service that I got at Whataburger just no more than about an hour and a half ago? Where this person looked like, for one, that they did not want to be there.
They always look like that.
They weren't happy that they had a job.
They always look like that.
It stopped me from trying to get my rewards because I didn't want to bother this person, you know. And I give him the card, right? And I said, "Oh, can you give me some ketchup?" Just closes the window. Doesn't even answer. Doesn't say, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me." No, just fucking close the window. I'm like, oh, "Okay, thanks for your help." So then she opens the window, right? She gives me my card, and right away I jump at it. "Hey, can I have some ketchup?" Nothing. Didn't say nothing. Just close the window again. I'm like, these motherfuckers are getting paid, or could potentially be getting paid $20
Well,
an
they're
hour.
already getting 14 and 15. I mean,
Yeah.
to be disrespectful.
I don't. Can you think about it? Like, can you imagine?
Well, be
if
glad
we
it wasn't
had 20
Houston,
It's not
because-
going to happen here, but
Be glad it was in Houston. I saw a lady that had an argument with somebody at the window and pulled out a gun and shot him.
Yes, that was,
I mean,
I saw that one too.
so
your favorite, you
yeah,
know,
exactly,
is Houston.
Houston.
Yeah,
Fuck Houston. but here's the thing. They already act like that. They don't want to be there, right? They're literally there to collect the paycheck. But you know, it wasn't only the softball field. It's not only on the pool table. I'm gonna do that even at the freaking restaurant, dude. I'm sorry. I don't know how many people I've gotten into it with where I'm like, hey, hold on, man. I'm talking or I'm asking for something. I'm here. You need to provide a service.
right.
You don't want to be here? Go get another job. Quit. Let somebody else take it.
Start an
but I'm
OnlyFans.
not gonna sit here and freaking take this from you. Like I will. I'll tell them, man, straight up. I don't play that. I'm coming over here and giving you $12 for a meal that used to cost me $5.99.
Where'd you go? Five Guys?
You know, I mean, I'm paying you way more, almost double, or sometimes more than double what I used to pay to get an attitude. Hell no.
Dude,
Nope.
It's bonkers to look at the prices when you go. I mean, you go to Walmart. Yes, and I know. Say what you're gonna say. Well, maybe you don't have to go eat out. Yeah, I don't have to go eat out, but I don't have a choice some days. There's some days where like, fuck that. I'm gonna go buy McDonald's and that's what we're gonna eat. Whatever. I don't, and you could tell like I don't know, year by year, meals were like $7, and then they were $8, and then now fucking meals like $12 fucking dollars to get a burger and French fries and a drink.
Go to Bill Miller's. The tenders used to be $4.99, $5.99, and now it's a $12 meal, $13 meal. Hell,
yeah, and hell? Yeah, we could eat at home. Yeah, we could. I mean, right?
Cranky always says it though.
Say it.
People don't want to cook.
He's buttoning his lip. He don't want to say it.
You know, man. We were looking at our budget, right? And I decided to take a look at what we spent last month.
Oh, I don't even.
I did it last night because we were talking about it. That. You know, she was like, "Man, I'm gonna cook more because I'm just getting tired of." And even me, like, I get tired of eating out. I hate eating the same thing over and over, right?
Hell yeah.
So, and man, she's made some damn good food lately. But we were talking about it, and she was like,
"What time should we be there?"
Hey, man, we made lasagna today too.
Is it $20 an hour food though?
Hey, it gotta be, right? So we were going over the budget, man, and I saw how much we spent last month, the month of March, on just eating out. And I told her it wasn't even like where we have a date night or we go out for, on the weekend where we don't have the kids and we decide, hey man, we're gonna go and just have some fun and go. I wasn't including that. I was including just all the times that we had to order food because somebody had a game, somebody had practice. We're running around so much and it's really, really hard to get home and then cook late because we're trying to put the kids to bed early, right?
School night.
Dude, $800 on freaking eating out last month. And I was like, yeah, nah.
I don't even want to.
We can't do that. Like,
that's $800, man.
I mean, honestly, man, my goal this month is to at least cut it in half. At least. I'm thinking $100 a week. That's maybe one day during the week and maybe one day on the weekend for 4 weeks. And let's see if we can cut it to $400. Because I'm like, that's $400 that I could be drinking.
And spending on clients.
Or you could even go, report cards. A's, you eat. B's and C's, maybe a snack. F, bread and water, baby.
There's some ramen in the pantry. Here you go.
You might get one cracker today. That's your allotted cracker for the week.
Hey, he went from A's, B's, and C's. He didn't even say D. He was like, go straight to F.
But golly, man, $800. I wouldn't even want to go back to look at mine. I wouldn't be, because I would say it's just as close, because it's so much easier, dude. It's just easy to go. It's easy to say, well, let's just go get something to eat. It's very easy.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, no, let's just cook at home. But you don't have that opportunity.
That's when you're looking at each other. Well, are you gonna cook or are you? Am I gonna? What? No, yes, no.
You know it is.
You look like Porky Romano. Yes, no,
yeah,
no, yes, no, yes.
Yeah. But
$20 an hour, man. That's
so. What are they getting paid now? They're getting here. Okay, let's talk about Texas.
Is it 12?
What is?
I think minimum wage. Like,
I don't even know what minimum
wage. I think is 12 something.
Like 12 something. No,
I think it's 12.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm gonna check it out. Minimum wage in Texas.
Dude, when I started working at HEB,
okay, no,
it was $4.
Yes, $4.50.
So in 2024, it rose to $9.50.
Okay. Darn.
Yeah. So, but that's minimum wage. But I'll be honest with you. It doesn't matter where you go.
You don't start at
nobody's
wage.
Starting at $9.50.
They started more.
Oh yeah, bro. Like
$9.62.
My son who got the bullshit job, right, was like $10 an hour at least. Other places, it was $14, $15 an hour. Yeah. Like everywhere is starting, because especially after COVID, a lot of people never went back to work, or they had shortages, right, in different companies. So people started offering $14 and $15 an hour to come work. But that's why you get those people that are, I'm gonna go get my $14, $15 an hour, but I'm gonna give you an attitude when you're at the window. So
I've seen places, a lot of Bill Miller's like
Starting at
$15 starting, and it's like, okay, that's a good. I mean, fuck, like I said, I think it was $4.92 was minimum wage when I started working in 96, 95, 96. And then it went up to like $7.50, and I'm like, yeah, $7.50, fuck yeah. And it's only gone up $2 since then.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, this was in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And we're in 2024,
$9.50.
and it's barely $9.50.
But this is also why we have houses, for 200,000 and 300,000, and when you go to California, they're at 1.2 million. Right?
Same square feet.
Same square feet or smaller.
Or smaller.
Or even in New York too.
New York,
you know,
yep.
how small those places
Yeah, you
are.
have an apartment here. You might be able to get away with $1,400-$1,500, but you go and that's even looking at a 2 to 3 bedroom, and you go for a 1 bedroom in those places, and you're paying $1,600 to $1,800 to maybe $2,000. So the cost of living, and this is why
We're getting Californian.
people from California are coming here because they're not having to pay as much.
Yeah. It's. I've heard there's been a lot of people that have come from that I've known from California that have come and said, "Man, it's so much better here. It's so cheaper." And I'm like, "Well, go back. We don't need you."
We don't.
we don't want you.
don't.
No, I wouldn't say that. Maybe I would.
Well, I would.
But I mean, come on, man. I mean, they should have. I mean, I'm not to get political. And then there's one thing I didn't send y'all. I forgot to send it to you. But somebody made a comment on Facebook. I don't know who it was. Random people flash up on my Facebook. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? I have no idea. And it's one of those like, follow? Like, like they want you to follow this person. Whoever they are. I don't even know who they are. You just hit the X. I hit the X to get rid of them. So this particular person, just like the Five Guys thing, they posted their receipt. And the receipt was like, I think it was like $90 or $87. I think they got like 2 pizzas, and they got some wings, and they got some other stuff. And then and they were complaining, right? They were complaining because it's too much and this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I go to the comments, right? Because I want to see what people are saying. And the very first comment that pops up talks about, well, that's Biden's America. I'm like, wait a minute. And I said, I know, not to get political, but let's be honest, dude. Like, is that Biden's fault
Lesbian?
that people are wanting to go eat out? Why is it his fault?
Well, so here's where I will say that the reason I've heard some of the people's reasoning, and it's because when the whole COVID thing happened, all the prices of groceries went up, right?
Because everybody was
And it was
buying?
during his umbrella, during his watch, right?
Right.
So, and then after that kind of passed, they didn't come back down. They stayed the same. That's why you're paying $7 for eggs or $8 or whatever
Right.
you were paying before when you were paying $3.99.
Yeah.
And so I see why people are saying, man, well, it's really expensive now to go to the grocery store. Well, yeah, but it's really, really, really more expensive to eat out. Look at this.
And that's why
if you want to see my budget.
That's why they should eat at home, right, Cranky? But nobody eats at home. It's just true. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's so much easier just to go. Like, I mean, we just got Whataburger today. I mean, really, we could have eaten at home, but we didn't. We got Whataburger. But it's gonna. I mean, to get off the political thing. So, I mean, businesses are going to be closing in California. Like, then what?
But that kind of sucks for people that were working at those places, thinking that they're gonna freaking get a raise, go to work, and just to hear, we closed.
Sorry, we're closed.
So the guy who owns the place, well, I can't lose my condo to pay you more so you can get out of your mom's house. It doesn't work that way. That's kind of messed up, man.
I saw a video, and they were interviewing this girl, or this lady, a lady, right? Kids, everything, a lady. And they're like, hey, so does this give you hope that now you can get a place of your own? Yeah, it makes me think that I can. Now I can go afford a place to stay at. And I'm like, golly, like that's how bad it is, right? That's how bad it is that you're making $15 an hour and you still can't afford to live.
Yeah.
No.
You can't afford to live. And then, like Cranky said, you're going to get this raise. And a lot of people, well, you can't live still. So go find something else. And, you know, and like Cranky said, right, it sucked because people showed up without notice.
Yeah, they didn't give
and they just didn't have a job. No, and even some people were the place is still open, but they were given their pink slips right away. Like, hey, sorry, man, but you can't work here no more. Like, what the? That is now that's crazy. And that's where I'm like, well, was it worth it? Was it worth? I mean, maybe it is. Maybe they'll go find another job at another fast food place that's gonna pay them the $20, right? But in hindsight, you think about it, was it really, really worth it?
I think it's like Cranky said, man. These people, you know, who own these companies, you know, they just want to keep their wallet fat. You know, they want to keep their pockets fat, and instead of maybe working or trying to work with it and say, well, let's see how it goes, and let's give it a month or two, and let's look at our expenditures or whatever you want to look at, and see how we're looking, and then we'll decide. Because now what? Then you can get to a point where you could tell these people, hey, look, I'll give you another month, but you're going to have to go look for a job because we're going to have to close. Instead of showing up to work and you don't have a fucking job. Now what? Now they got to go. Do they get unemployment, right? Because if they were let go or fired,
you would think.
Don't they get unemployment? I don't know how the unemployment works over there. I mean, fuck that people.
Yeah, if you're laid off, you
get, right? Yeah. You get it, right? So, but I mean, without warning, now these people got to go either they got to try and look for a job or get unemployment for the time being. Don't they have to pay that shit back?
No.
You don't have to pay unemployment back? I thought you did.
No.
Well, you get taxed on it.
You do get taxed on it.
Well, so you got to pay that back. Yeah, so you got to pay something back because you're getting taxed on it. But
I'm just curious on how much of a notice were these businesses given?
The business or the people?
The business.
The business?
Because they told them the date.
Well,
I don't know how long.
I'm just because Porky brought up a good point.
Because when I sent it, hold on. When I sent it to you was the week before, and it was happening on April 1st, which is April Fool's. I said, this is not a joke. This is really happening. They're getting $20 an hour. Anyway. So.
Well, I'm just wondering because you brought up a good point where you said, well, why can't these businesses, you know, write it out for a little bit and see what their P&L look like, right? Their profit and losses. See what it looks like.
See, and that's your alley. Like you know about that stuff.
See what your bottom line is gonna look like. See what your P&L looks like. Look at everything. My question is, how long were they given a notice? Because they could have been doing that already,
right? Oh yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And so it just makes me believe that it kind of was dropped on them, you know, not in a week or two, but you know, you really can't look at that in a month or two. Right. It's got to be at least a quarter, right? A quarter of a year. You got to have at least 3 to 4 months to be able to look at it and say, man, we're not going to be able to do this.
Right.
So I'm just curious to see how long of a notice the businesses were given, so that way they could have done what you said and seen where if they were going to be able to do this. But you're right. I think it was just some businesses they had a knee-jerk reaction.
We'll cross that. What is it?
Cross that bridge
when we get there. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah, and it was like, well, you know, we're not gonna be able to do it, so you're fired or we're closed. You know, one of the two. So it's just it does suck, man.
I mean, I'm sure they give them. I'm sure they signed that whatever it was, that bill.
The bill,
saying that April 1st this is gonna happen. So when they told them that, I mean, I'm sure they had time to be like, okay, let's start raising our prices little by little.
Yeah.
Until April 1st, so that way we can be ready to see, like the way Louis was saying, see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but they did it. I don't think they did. I think they're like, it's April 1st, probably a joke. It's not going to happen.
And that's why I made sure, too, because even when I saw it, and I was like, wait a minute, April 1st. I was like, wait a minute, $20 an hour? I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And I went in and I read it. It was a reputable news source, and I was like, this shit's real. Like, this shit is real. And then, of course, you know, I think we all had that. I think one of you guys might have said it. It's like, well, people aren't going to be working much more. I think Cranky said it. He's like, well, they're not going to have a minimum wage at all now because they're going to get fired. And bam, that's what happened. You know, they'll show up to work and you're done. Sorry. But I think, I don't know, man. It's hard. You know, we don't live in California, obviously, so we don't know how it is over there. Obviously, it's expensive.
So this says that it was signed in September.
Of last year?
23 probably.
Yeah.
Duh.
That it was signed in September of 2023. That about the April 1st thing. So, I mean, that gives them 7 months.
Almost 7 months.
So what happened in that 7 months? What did they do that whole time?
Well, you got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas,
You gotta buy
Valentine's,
the cuetes.
St. Patrick's Day.
You know.
You gotta buy the cuetes for New Year's. Gotta buy my wife a nice diamond ring for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Ah, dude, man. But I don't know, man. I'm at a loss for words because it's like, who has 7 months to come up with a plan, and then when it finally gets into a bill or law or whatever, now you just want to cut people.
Yeah.
and they're done.
Well, I have a message for those people. If
I think I know.
if you have family in Texas, don't come visit them because then you won't leave, and then we're just gonna bring more California people here.
More Californians.
There's plenty of states between California and Texas.
No, there's not. There's more states between New York and Michigan.
No, but there's still plenty. You still have Nevada. You still have Arizona. You still have New Mexico.
That's only 3.
That's plenty. That's 3 before us. Oh, go north. There's Seattle. Golly.
Nobody
There's
wants
Oregon,
to be,
man.
Nobody
Go to
wants
Seattle.
to be, nobody wants to be caught in rain 375 days out of the year.
I'm just saying, don't come over here. If you come to visit, make sure you pack the bag so you can go back.
Oh, man. Well, don't California my Texas.
That's right. That's the line.
California my Texas is what they say. All right. Well, you got a quick shot? Who's got a quick shot?
I think that was my quick.
That was your quick shot?
I have one. So I had 2 coming in today that I usually don't write down. It's just something that comes out the top of my head. But
I have to write them down because I don't remember.
But today, I have a problem with the parking lot situation at schools.
What schools? What kind of schools?
Like at an elementary school.
Okay.
Even a middle school, but elementary school for let's just that example. When you pull up, they tell you in certain schools, you can't drop off the kids until this time. That's
Okay.
the time the doors open, and that's the time that the teachers actually come out to kind of direct the traffic and help the kids get off the vehicles so they can go inside safely. They don't want you to drop off the kids earlier because the doors aren't open and they're just going to be basically standing outside, right? And they're unsupervised. So don't drop them off.
Right.
I get it. But when you do get there and you have people, the teachers that come out and start to quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes, direct traffic, they're not looking at the cars. They're talking to people and they're just waving their hand and they're doing this, right? So the rule is you're supposed to drive up to the furthest spot that you can so that way everybody can keep moving up.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So they're doing this and the person parks right in front of them and they're still like 30 feet that they can continue to move forward. But they stop to allow their kid to get off. Yeah. And it's not allowing their kid to get off. Then they want to open their door and they want to get off. Even though there's a teacher there to open the door for the kid to get them off, they get off and have to walk all the way around, get their kid so they can give them a hug. Yeah. They can make sure their backpack's on right. I'm like, they're 5th graders, man. They're going to middle school next year. And then do all that, and then they're holding up traffic.
Yeah.
And then you have other people that, and the teacher's still doing the same thing, just waving their hand. Back in the day, you would have, hey, move up. Move up.
Maybe she's on the phone. And
she could be, man.
Signing,
or they're sitting there talking to the teacher that's across from them, right? And I'm like, golly. And then you have these people that, or they're be in the back of the line.
Yeah.
And because the person in front didn't move up, they cut through the line, go all the way, and then they park in the front. I mean, that was smart on their part.
Hey.
Because I would have done it. But I'm thinking, dude, like, we're in line. So what did I start doing? I started doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. You know what? Then I'm going to stop where I want to stop at. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna wait till 7:30 all the time. 7:25, I'm like, y'all ready, guys? Go ahead, jump off, go. And by the time you get to the door, the teacher should be walking out. We're good, man. But it just frustrates the hell out of me because then why have the teacher out there? They're not doing anything but waving their hand and they're not really directing anything. It's frustrating.
That brings up a good point because the school that the boys go to, it's not the school. I guess maybe I don't know. Maybe what are you saying? It's the school or is it the parents?
Both.
Okay.
So at first I was like, man, the school, because they're not doing what.
Right.
Because they literally give you instructions at the beginning of the year.
Of course.
This is what we're gonna do. This is how you're gonna do it. These are the rules.
Right.
But then they don't hold people accountable to the rules, right?
Right.
So yes, it's them, but I also feel the parents like, come on, man, like just move up. You see the line going around the school all the way down the street.
Yep.
They're trying to get in to the parking lot as well. Like, come on, just move up a little bit. Be considerate.
Yeah.
They're not.
No, you took the words out of my mouth. That was a quick shot, probably about the beginning of the school year, because that's exactly what the school does. Is they give out the instructions on a placard, because they give everybody a placard, even the older kids. The older kids have a placard too, right? So you put the placard up, so they take the name and they tell them, okay, you can come down. Mm-hmm. So in the back of that placard, it tells them which way that they have to go to pick up, which way they have to go to drop off, right? Exactly. I was waiting for you to say that too. But it tells them exactly how they have to do it. And then on one of the side streets, it says, do not drop off your kids here unless they are walking, right? There's only for walkers. And it's a very few because, I mean, it's a charter school and then not everybody in the neighborhood goes to that school, right? So there's very few walkers. So they can only use a certain entrance. Signs, and in that part of the block, there's about 10 of them. And they all say no standing, sitting, or no standing. How does it go? I forget. There's 3 words. There's no standing, sitting, or parking, something like that. And so the difference is obviously you can't park and get off, and you can't sit there and wait.
Yeah.
And you can't stand, meaning even if you're dropping somebody off, you cannot stop. Basically, that's the whole thing of it. Those signs say, do not stop here.
Because you're stopping the flow.
Right, because there's a flow of traffic that needs to go. And then they tell you, do not turn left here because they don't want the traffic.
Thank you.
So what do you think all these motherfuckers are doing? Trying to turn left. The teacher's pointing the opposite way. Go this way.
Wait, you brought up a good point.
She's in the middle of the fucking street giving up her life.
Yeah.
With this fucking traffic going through, trying to tell them, go this way, go this way, go this way. And they're all turning in front of her and back of her. I'm like, she's going to get hit.
Yeah.
Because these fucking idiots don't know they don't follow the rules.
So the school used to have...
God damn it.
The school used to have PD there to kind of direct, right? They don't anymore because they don't like to show up before 8. That's just them.
They're getting their donuts.
Yeah. So what the school did, what the principal did, is he put cones to force them to turn right.
We already tried that too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, these people they go to the last cone and they're waiting for the traffic to pass so they can take their left.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. It's a busy street and they're holding up the traffic for all the people that already dropped off their kids. Everybody's just sitting there waiting for that one person to take a left. And you're like, okay, finally they left. Well, guess what? The next person's going to do the same thing. And I'm like, and I'm not going to lie. I've turned left before too, but I usually wait to see, okay, do I have a quick shot to be able to go through? No? Then I take the right and I just go the long way, which adds 2-3 minutes to my freaking route. It's not a big deal. But every once in a while, like I'll sit there like, hey man, I have an opening. Boom.
Right.
I take the left.
it. Yeah.
But you have these people that sit there and wait for an opening and wait for an opening.
Right.
They can take a right, but they don't. And they wait to go left, and they just hold everybody else up, and that's another frustrating thing. So,
and the whole thing about it is that it's probably the neighborhood, right, that got these signs and say we need these signs here because there's too much traffic, the flow stops, right, and that's why they want everybody to go one way. But the thing is, and you mentioned it, okay, it's going to take a couple of minutes off your time. This particular street doesn't have any cross streets. So the closest thing is a street that goes out to Flores, which is right there. But they don't want everybody going that way. Why? Because it'll cause the fucking traffic to back up, and it backs up the traffic in the school, and it backs up the traffic of people trying to get into the school. So just because they don't want to go all the way down that way, they block this whole fucking thing, and everybody's fucked.
Hey, Cranky's over here like, I'm glad I don't have
It's
kids.
like, I
I'm
ain't
glad I
gotta
don't have
worry
little
about
kids.
No, man, I'm just thinking about that. It wasn't like that back when we went to school. It was
Because everybody walked.
everybody walked.
Pretty much.
They freaking dropped us off wherever.
Yep.
They didn't
The
care.
library.
Yeah, exactly.
Or right in front of the
I'm
park.
gonna drop you off right here. We walk the rest of the way.
Hey, and you go straight there.
You go straight there.
Yep.
We used to get to school early. We played
Yep.
in the ground before the bell rang.
Yep.
You know, you go eat breakfast if you wanted to. If you didn't, you're out there
Yep.
playing. You
Now
know.
it's like you drop them off and they go straight in.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. Yeah.
BS.
Yeah. Hey, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to get Uncle Cranky over here to. Hey, man, go drop him off one day that you're off, because that way you can experience
Just so you
this.
can experience.
I'm gonna do what I just said. Get off right here. Walk the rest of the way. But it's raining. I don't care.
Hey, if you run, you'll reach the awning really quick, and you can walk through.
Just
There you
run.
go.
Run over
Oh,
there.
my
You won't get
goodness,
that
man.
wet.
You won't get wet if you run fast.
We used to walk in the cold, man, to school, dude. Gee.
Hey, I don't know.
Uphill both ways.
How about
in
y'all,
the snow,
man?
barefoot.
My parents used to drop me off, so I don't know, man. But yeah, that's good that you brought that up.
No, just go ahead.
Oh no, you say it.
No, I didn't get dropped off till middle school.
Really?
That's when
well, you were-
elementary was
yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
The street was right there.
Yeah.
And the ditch led straight to the elementary.
Yeah,
That
I
was it.
understand.
But,
yeah,
yeah,
and the middle school and the elementary were in the same spot. So
For you, yeah.
yeah. So for me,
we would walk because we would get dropped off at my grandma's.
Spats.
Yeah, in the morning, and so I had a couple cousins to walk with. If not, I had the dog. So the dog would walk me to school.
no way.
Right, go into school, like Cranky said, we'd go play and do whatever. After school, so the dog would go back home. Right after school, walk out, and the dog was right there waiting. Already knew what time to pick us up. The dog Bully, that was the name of the dog. Would be right there, and all right, let's walk back.
Maybe he was a support animal, man.
We didn't have papers, but he was a freaking support animal.
Get papers for your fucking dogs, people.
I think he identified as a support animal.
Was that his pronoun?
That was his
That was his pronoun. The pronoun.
my
So
goodness.
if a female dog is a bitch, then what's a male dog? What do they identify as? Wait. There it is.
There it
Damn
is.
Oh my god, man. All right, you got anything else? Anything you want to add?
I have a parting thought.
Oh yeah, you do that, and I got my one question. I forgot about that.
All right. So here's a thought. I don't know if it's a drunk thought or a high thought
Or a thought.
or a thought. When you're at a restaurant and you're waiting,
The shower thought.
a shower thought. When you're at a restaurant and you're waiting for the waiter,
Does that
aren't you the waiter now?
So then we should get tipped.
$20 an hour.
At least 20%. Hey, from now on, I'm gonna turn my phone around like the way they do
Yes.
when you're at the register. Oh, it's gonna ask you a couple questions. I'm gonna give my phone. It's gonna ask you a couple questions. Would you like to leave a tip?
For making me wait.
I'm telling you,
I
man.
bet you, hey, we should make an app for that.
We should.
dude. You know.
Face back.
Oh shit, that was a good one.
All right. We'll finish off with Porky's
Last one.
dark humor.
Okay, let me try and do
question.
two real quick.
All right.
If a stealth bomber crashes in the woods, does it make a sound?
Only if somebody's there to hear it.
Wasn't that like the tree fall in the forest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically.
Does it make a sound if nobody hears it?
So we're into 2024. It's now it's a stealth bomber. The tree was the 80s. Now it's the stealth.
Oh, I got you.
You know.
Well, here's a good one. When do you use a solar flashlight?
When do you use a
In the eclipse coming Monday.
on Monday?
On Monday.
Well, by this time it'll pass. We've already seen it. But yeah, okay. Let me do one more. Real good. Wait, did I say this one? I think I said this one already. Hurry up, dummy. Find another one. Why do overlook and oversee mean opposite things?
If you overlook something, it's kind of like you dismissed it, forgot it. But if you oversee something, you're managing
I
it.
mean, you're looking at it.
It doesn't mean the same thing, doesn't it?
No, because if you oversee something, you're kind of
you're
like
overseeing.
you're overseeing
Right,
it.
so
If you overlook something, it's kind of like it passed you.
Yeah.
Or you're in an airplane flying over the sea. You're oversea.
Yeah. Or you could be overlooking.
Overlooking oversea.
Roger, under, over. All right, dude. Well, good show.
Good show.
Teach your kids not to be a bully. Not a bully.
That's the next week's topic, right? Because you mentioned it on the comment that you wanted us to talk about
Dadisms
Oh,
and
the
momisms.
dadisms. Yeah.
So that'll be next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that'll be coming up next week on the next episode
yeah,
of Uncancered Culture.
The first dadism from me will be make a kid, drop them off wherever, make them walk to the rest of the way.
Look both ways before you
Look
cross
both
the
ways.
street.
Yeah, I got a tip for you. Don't take any wood nickels.
If it's cold, get a jacket. That was my dad's tip.
Run if it's raining.
Sinvergüenzas. All right, man. Well, good show. We'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.